Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your January 2020 tarot reading. It's Serena here. So new decade, huh? Isn't that exciting? We Sagittarians love new beginnings, I think. And then I pick a card that's the ace. It's a new beginning. Oops! I have to do this. I have a new spread. So I have to be, I was going to put it in a different place, and I'm glad I didn't. And I created this spread just spontaneously, because when I saw 2020, I was like, wow, this is really a big deal, a new decade. So I should do something in honor of the new decade, a new spread. So there we go. Okay. The first card is our life right now. Ace of Swords. This is a great card to get because it's January, it's a new decade, and we have an ace. So it's already a feeling of new beginnings, and then here we have the card that represents that. This is a card of cutting through illusion, to be able to, getting to the truth so that you can move on with your life. And I love this card. You see, and let me see here. It really has, it looks like it's in the air. Well, it's an air sign, this is air energy. But, how I see it is that you may have felt, by the way, this is going to be sometimes, it's not a projection. I'm consciously doing this because it's based on my own experiences and I'm a Sag, so I figured that some of you may have had some of these experiences where in 2019 you may have uncovered an unpleasant truth. Now this may not be something that was hidden from you. You may have hidden it from you. Not like somebody else hiding it from you. And it's like it's like an illusion, okay? And it can come in any area of life. But it may be kind of shocking to a Sagittarian, because I think we pride ourselves on really knowing, being wise, being on top of things. And then we think, wow, how did I not see this all this time? And it can be very painful, because the truth may be something that is hard to accept in a certain way. But what it does is it frees us, because we're no longer in this place of expectation, like we really hold hope that something will get better, because Sagittarians are eternal optimists. So that kind of creates a problem as well, a challenge as well sometimes for us, because we tend to, say, well, if it's like a person, we say to ourselves, well, maybe they're not how we want them to be, but I see the good in them. So I feel like they're going to come around and they're going to do something. And then when it doesn't happen, and then we really see the truth, we're able, it can feel like disillusioning. But this is really great because the swords represent air. So there's that sense of being very dispassionate, meaning that it's not meaning that you don't care. It means that you're not going to allow yourself to get caught up emotionally in a situation. What brought you here? Well, this is a great card, and this might even be Sagittarius, I'm not sure. The King of Wands is fire energy. This is self-mastery at the highest level. This is being you know, in charge of your life, autonomous. It can be just like a mental thing where you realize that nobody else has control of you. And by the way, too, with the Ace of Swords, this can be like new thought patterns forming, new concepts of how you want to show up in life, in the world, and how that's going to look like for you. But it's really about getting your thoughts in order. The King of Wands is about self-empowerment, which means that we're not relying on anybody else to be anything, to do anything, for us to take charge of our lives. And this is something that I am very adamant about with astrology, because I feel like it can be very disempowering if we're not careful. If we are too caught up in transits, we can feel at the mercy of them. And the King of Wands is like, I'm going to be in charge of my dominion, which is my actions, my thoughts. These are under my control. I can't control the people. And if I had the King of Wands in reverse, this would be somebody that was a bully, that was a control freak, that's trying to get other people to do their bidding, that wants somebody else to who's trying to, like a narcissist, somebody who's trying to gain power through trying to control somebody else. Well, that's not true power when you're trying to control another person. So this is about knowing what is under your control and then taking charge. And also, I think, like, in terms of professionally, it can even be perhaps doing your own thing, because you feel like you are the one that is the captain of your ship. And when you are doing what other people want you to do, you're not fulfilling your vision. There is creativity with the fire element, but also autonomy, independence. What you can expect in January, woohoo! This is the card of success. So expect success, Sag. Expect, and wouldn't it be great if we always expected success? But here's that fire energy again. Now this is, I believe, connected to Leo. So this may be, I even think of the King of Wands. I think of royalty as Leo, queens and kings. So perhaps this is a Leo person in your life. But I like to focus these readings on more of the other areas, because I do love readings a lot of times, but also because I really see here a lot of cards that relate to that. So to your career aspirations and things like that. And this may be accolades if you're working for somebody else and people are saying, wow, this person is really talented, and they are giving you, maybe you're going to get a promotion, or they, some kind of a write-up, you get something, in the newsletter from the business, what have you, but it could actually be a promotion. And if you get a promotion, chances are you're going to get a raise too, right? So the other thing too with this card is that if you are doing something for yourself, perhaps there will be word of mouth. Other people will say, wow, this person, you've got to go to this individual. They are so good. The challenge. The Six of Pentacles, a card of give and take. This is also, I was thinking something funny. I was thinking, the price of success you tell, because I think about this card of like, you might be helping out somebody perhaps in your family, and you have the ability to help them out. But it's one of those things of like, if you're doing really well and the word gets around, that's when people start hitting you up for money or something. But the other thing too is with give and take, is that sometimes too, if you're in a position where you're being praised, but you're not getting that raise that I was talking about, it's like, show me the money, don't give me this glorified, like this great job title, but I'm not getting compensated fairly for what I'm doing. Because all the praise in the world doesn't cover up for the fact if you're doing the job of two people and getting paid for one. So sometimes that can happen as well. I do think, though, that whatever is going on, that even if there is some kind of disparity in that you are on top of it, that you know what's going on, the Ace of Swords, you know exactly what's going on, and you already have a game plan of how you're going to deal with that. The Six of Pentacles in the challenge position, to me, can also be, if you're in a romantic relationship and there is kind of an imbalance with the money situation. Maybe you're doing gangbusters in terms of your career, and yet your partner is out of work and you're paying all the bills. Or they're staying home with the child and you're doing well, but there is this sense of one person is controlling the purse strings. And it's uncomfortable for the other person, or if they're not making as much money, they feel inferior, and it just kind of rubs them the wrong way, and they may, not like it, even though it's helping the household. So this kind of thing, when success comes your way, and if you have a relationship with somebody and they seem to not like it, pay attention to that, because that could give you clues as to whether or not that person is supportive of what's happening. Now, on the flip side, it is good to be sensitive to what they may be going through. If they are feeling already, if they have lost their job and they're feeling a low sense of self-esteem, a sense of low self-esteem because of that, and then you're doing well, they may know that they're supposed to be supportive, but it's hard for them because it just kind of like highlights everything that isn't working out for them. So it's kind of a balance, and I think everything in life is. So, I like to call the challenge card the fly in the ointment, because in life there are always going to be things that we have to kind of be dealing with, as long as, even when we have all this great stuff happening. Advice: the Wheel of Fortune, embrace your success. This card is connected to Jupiter. By the way, Jupiter is in our second house of the money that we earn, so that would make a lot of sense in terms of expansion in this area. But to understand that life is a cycle. And don't, it's funny how sometimes people will kind of resist their success. It's almost like they feel more comfortable with the times that are not that successful than when they are successful. But if you're experiencing a lot of great things happening, don't wait for the other shoe to drop. Just go with the flow. Enjoy it. And the outcome, the Page of Swords. In this context, I would say that this can be a new way of looking at life, being very observant, but even in the moment. Sometimes this card can be the spy card, somebody who is, I don't want to say paranoid, but is very aware of everything around them, so that they're not taken by surprise or something like this. But in this context, I think it's like a new way of thinking, and that's what I was getting at here, because pages and aces can be similar in that regard of really having a new mindset, and that can be your blueprint for success. And it, you know, taking the lessons of 2019, Sag, of maybe the times that you felt really stuck, that you couldn't move because you were operating under an old belief system that just wasn't serving you. And, you know, Sag rules the ninth house of philosophy. I mean, that's one of the things that the ninth house involves. Our life philosophy will change, as we are, you know, experiencing things in life, we're interacting with life. And so it's only natural that we will kind of shift from time to time. And that's awesome, because it means that we're growing. So in any case, I think that this is a new mindset, and it's leading to success and, you know, good fortune. I'm all for it. How about you guys? So I hope that you enjoyed this, Sag. If you would like a personal reading, the link to my website is below. Take care. Bye.